All right, so we're gonna go ahead and document. Go ahead and take this sucker apart here. So this is going to be the battery control module unit. So send it out real fast. Control module unit. This is going to be the battery placement here. We have our connections underneath, our Wi-Fi communicating ports and things of that nature sitting up underneath this box here. We'll get this up out of the way now. Right, let's just put him right here. Out of the way. The next box is basically just a bunch of paperwork. Nothing really special about this one. You got a manual, communicating software, a bracket, another bracket, soft screws, battery containment box, or the bottom lid pretty much, components for that, head studs, and the rest is trash. Alright, so now we have the batteries themselves. It's like Christmas. Alright. This is one 7.5 kW pack right here. And then we have the secondary pack. Alright, this is the secondary pack. Alright, so what we have here is the bottom containment part for the batteries to sit on. You have a rear in the front. So clearly, we're going to put the rear towards the rear. I got a little cardboard that I'm putting on the ground here so I don't scratch up this guy's garage. And then on the back end side, you see all these main supports that are going into the actual battery itself. All the little screws and things like that. These are going to be going towards the center. So we just pick it up, set it down, wiggle it in position, and there it goes. It's kind of teeter-tottering, pretty heavy. These batteries are about 150 pounds a piece, so be cautious when putting them into the cells. And then we got battery module number 2. Okay. So that is 1 and 2. All right, now they're inside the bottom containment. So we got some screws we're going to go ahead and put in with our impact here. And the driver will be a 10 millimeter driver socket. So in here, you have your main screws that sit up on the top and also on the side here. These are the bolts by the company for LG here. All right, and we have to have these little plastic mounting plates that are sitting on the sides. So I need to go hunt for those real fast because that was in a box apparently. All right, go ahead and pause this video till I get that. All right, after you've found them and you don't misplace them, they are just plastic. All right, so nothing really too crazy. We have the holes that go in there. So just put it on the side. What I like to do is I put the bottom ones in there first, kind of place it first where it needs to go, and then go from there. I wouldn't torque them all the way down right away. I learned that the hard way. You start getting things out of whack real quick. Just kind of place them in where they need to go ASAP. For two reasons. A, there's a lot of weight sitting on here. These batteries fall. That's literally what this plate's here for. So once you've done both sides, once all the side clips, little plastic pieces, are mounting this together, where this has become now one unit, you're good to go. All right, next is going to be the actual battery cabinet housing. So this part sits up on top clearly. And what this is basically is the BMS control module unit. It takes 400 volts or raw voltage DC, converts it down to where it can charge the batteries. All right, what we have are some plastic protection for the actual BMS itself. So that's DC communication, and that's DC output high voltage. And that's for the battery module 1. This is battery module 2. Since we already have this facing towards the front here, we don't have to worry about placing this in any direction. They did give us these little spacer blocks. It's a spacer block that sits here, and what that does is it's just 2 chunks of cardboard that we stick sideways, and then when this unit sits on top, then we don't have to worry about those clips and wires getting smashed or anything like that. Now, on top of this battery unit, it says, warning, do not remove this label before final installation. So we're gonna go ahead and peel that off. And all that is just a sticker protecting that connection port for this battery and for this battery. I guess the dirt and debris, things like that, got up in these things and they had to learn the hard way. All right, so once you get the final installation aspect of this thing terminated, it's fairly easy overall. I'll just show you in a second here. All right, so now we got all the actual male to female open. So all we're doing is we're taking that BMS clip and it goes literally, let me go ahead and grab my phone here and show you exactly what I'm dealing with. All right, so we have this connection port right here. It literally just goes right in, clips, and then lock down the tab right here. So this comes up if you want to take it out, and this goes back in to lock it back in this spot so it doesn't move. And then the same thing for this guy over here. He just, you'll hear a click, and then it won't move. All right, so that side's good. As you can see why the pieces of cardboard are here. I, on my first set, didn't use the cardboard. I picked everything up, and yeah, it was a pain in the butt. So, all right, that one's in. All right, now that one doesn't seem like it wants to go in. Okay, I was about to say I might have to flip it around. All right, just yank on it, do a nice little stress test on the cable itself. Make sure everything's in there, nice and good. All right, so when you're done with that part, pick it up, pull your sleeve out, start to relax it. Same thing on the other side. Don't break the piece of cardboard underneath there. And you'll be good. Make sure the wires are pinching. All right, so now it's sitting on top. All right, so what we got to do is basically take off the top and put in the head bolts, or head stud bolts, or whatever you want to call them. Nothing too special, just a 3/16 driver, right? Self-tapping screws, things like that. Go to the top, drive your tidy left and easy. All right, once you get all that done, this lid comes right off. It's nothing really scary. It's just a MOSFET or a heat sink of some sort. Fins basically to give off the heat. Handy dandy bag here. There's going to be 6 head studs They just sit on the outer edge of the body. 1, 2, and 3. Now these are kind of hard to line up because it is such a long distance going down. As you can tell, it goes all the way down to the battery itself. So, I got one right there. You just gotta finagle it. There she is. Okay. Once you got that. No, you ain't not going down, are you? Alright, well. Get the other one going up. Yep. 1, 2, 3. You still ain't going. Okay. Don't force it. Nope, you ain't going. Okay, so like I said, can't really see anything down there. There she goes. Okay, 1, 2. Don't torque it down real tight. You don't have to do all that. Just 3 ugga-duggas. Alright, so now we're here. We have our battery pretty much as one unit. Now we have to reinstall it. So once you get everything pretty much lined up to where it goes, I'm not going to put the helmet back on until I'm done mounting this and getting this into position. So, with our handy dandy cardboard sitting on the ground, we're going to slide this 300-pound battery pretty much into its position. There we go. There we go. Alright, well, I'm going to pause this for a second and fight with this. Alright, so once you got the battery pretty much placed into where it needs to go, we need to be able to hook it up. So we're going to go ahead and take off the screws that are sitting on the outer face over here and see what's up behind it. Alright, so pretty much after you take off the screws, this is going to be your main control panel. So this is going to be the Wi-Fi communication port. This is the one that failed on this placement of that battery, which is actually sitting right there. So this is what failed, and I saw that this part right here was discolored, so I imagine that was the Wi-Fi communication. Something happened, I don't know. Anywho, long story short, this is going to be our main breaker right here, off and on, operating the 400 volt system. And these are our, this is the 6 gauge wire that will be coming in, and I need to run a, well, I do have the ground. Anyways, so you have your positive, your ground, and your negative sitting on this terminal here. It's just plug and play pretty much. And then over here is your CAN communication. We won't be messing with that board. We do need to give it the right address. Basically, this is going to be the #1 in control for the inverter. So basically, this is going to be master, and this one will be slave. Right now, he's slave, or he's master, only because it was not communicating. So, all right, I'll go ahead and plug this in. I also wanted to give you an update on this part right here. This is a 3/4 inch flex tube non-metallic CGB that will go into this non-metallic flex tube. So this is how we're running all our communications. So once you get your negative and your positive ran in with your ground sitting over here, how I like to get this plugged in is this little tiny screwdriver. It's just a flathead. #1 on this little doohickey right here. And don't be dropping shit. Alright, so anyways, go into ground. Make sure all your wires are nice and twisted and cleaned and everything like that. Not all jagged like how mine are right now. I just had to refeed all that through that flex tube. What I do is underneath the part that you see here, just push in real hard. Just like that. And then hopefully I can do this all at the same time. Push in and push in. Come on, you son of a bitch. Alright. So anyways, he's in there. Give it a nice little tug. Make sure it's nice and in there. No frayed wires or anything exposed. You want perfect wire in with, see that little tiny. Alright, so anyhow. Alright, so at that point we have our positive. Just repeat the process. Push it in there. It's kind of hard with one hand. Alright, so overall overall, you can see it's negative, positive, and ground. We're all in the right communication aspect. Good. Now we have the communication between battery 1 and 2 sitting here off of this. This is a coax cable, nothing too special, as you can see. So once you get the wire ran into the system here, super crucial. Make sure these are nice and twisted, that there's no frays sitting over here. And how you hook that up is basically orange, white, brown, white. So we're going to go left to right like a book. So we're going to go number 1 is going to be on number 12 volt. Then we have enable load, and then RS45 and RS45B. So we're going to go copy and paste basically and do the same thing. Now these things are super fidgety, and same thing, you need to be able to get that screwdriver there and plug them in at the same time. This is probably the most garbage part of the system. Unfortunately, I wish it was just a plug and play RS45 plug-in port like this right here, but you know, LG. Okay, so once you've verified and done, so you got orange, white, brown, white, going into RS45B is the last communication port, and of course there. Now to make this a slave inverter and a master inverter, you see that the dip switch 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, you got down 2 and up 2. And then over here we have down 2 and up 2. Now how to make this a slave and primary inverter shows you exactly right here. So the primary inverter is going to be up on number 1. And then secondary battery is going to be up and down. So, and that pretty much concludes the installation of the LG 16 Prime battery. The commissioning aspect, I would highly advise watching one of Signature Solar's videos. Highly educational, and it's a pain in the ass regardless to commission these things. So, all right, I'm about wrapped up on this sucker, getting ready to turn the sucker on again for the final time and get paid. All right, till then, God bless. Love y'all.